Hello and welcome to Won't Be Forgetting That, a podcast talking about all of the most embarrassing and awkward moments of people working in the arts and entertainment industry. I'm your podcast host, Seb, and today we have a guest. They are a comedian, a broadcaster, a writer. It's Annie Louie.
Question? I don't even know. Am I? Sometimes I doubt myself.
I thought this was rude, and then I quite like doing this little it's not inverted, but little thing up at the end. But then I do feel like I'm questioning if you are a writer
you've
now.
Just become really Aussie then. It's that high rising tone that we get roasted for all the time. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
So everything I'm going to ask now is not a question. No. It's just going to be me going up at the end of a sentence.
Yeah, it's as if you have to prove you have to prove your citizenship or something.
That is it. They actually test me every year on it now as well.
That's right. Yeah,
so you better have to do that.
We're allowed to swear on this, aren't we?
Oh, please, swear away.
Throw in some fuck yeahs and
fuck yeah.
Yeah, nah.
yeah. Sorry for anyone. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Except I did find that when I went to Scotland, the one thing that was uniting me to all of these people is drinking and swearing. They embrace me fully.
See, I have a lot of people here and be like, we're the only place that says the word cunt in an endearing way. I was like, come to Scotland. Yeah. Every third word is cunt.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing, it's a bad thing, it's a neutral thing. It's just a filling word for you're like, oh, this fucking cunt. And you're like, oh, okay then. Yeah, I come here. And it's same with mate as well. Everyone here calls people mate. And I'm like, in Scotland, everybody calls you mate as well, to be honest with you.
True.
It's just little Scotland right here, except from 500 times the size.
Yeah, good point. It's almost as if they sent all their convicts here or something.
No, and then all of us 200 years later pay so much money to come here now. Yeah, that's real fun. Anyway, this isn't me complaining about me immigrating podcast. This is us talking about embarrassing moments. Now, Annie, you're a professional broadcaster, professional comedian, professional host, professional presenter, professional
don't stop. We got 50 more minutes. Keep
professional, going. Oh my God. Have I missed out any other professionals?
Probably not. That's heaps. Yeah.
Okay.
Overqualified now.
Yeah, no, it's very impressive. Everyone's a multi-hyphen, as they say in the industry.
That's right.
But all of those kind of operate in the live world, as in everything is done in front of small to very large groups of people. You can't really retake anything, and it's all out there instantly. And you can't be like, sorry everyone, I just forgot what I was saying there. Was I can't. So how do you find that as far as embarrassing moments go, instead of say people that are just in front of a camera crew and
so
instantly get rid of whatever they've done?
Recently I got asked if I could do auto cue, because apparently that's a really hard skill, and I don't want to be cocky, but I find that so easy. Read.
So I did the same thing. I filmed it already. I lied to this one presenting job, and they're like, do you have auto cue experience? I was like, yeah, I do. And then I just went and did it, and I was like, oh, this is so much better than remembering lines.
Totally, yeah. Well, because in stand-up, you have to rely on your own brain, and one of the shows that I did for online, I got this grant to go and make it during lockdown, except I didn't have time to remember any of it, so I just fed the whole 45 minutes through auto cue.
45 minutes?
Yeah, so wow. I was reading it for that long, but nobody could tell that I was doing that, and I'm like,
that's amazing.
Yeah, there had to be a better way, because the work smarter, not harder. Yeah. Got my friend to just do the pacing of it all, and the rest is trying to act put the body into it and everything,
instead of just standing there very motionless being like, and then I scroll faster.
A lot of comedians will write stuff on their hand as well.
Do they?
But yes, I don't do that anymore. I don't allow myself, because I don't think there's any natural way to make it look like it's part of your act.
Just pretending to yawn.
That's a new one. That's very creative.
I think yawning through a set might be a little bit off-putting.
Most people reach out for the mic stand and then have a little look at as if they're checking the time.
All right, well, next time you go and see some stand-up, dear listeners, check the back of people's hands on stage. Yeah. Call them out on it. As a comedian yourself, you love it when crowds just shout random things at you, interact.
Yeah, boo, cheating.
Yeah, halfway through a punchline or a setup, they just throw in whatever they want, gargled nonsense.
Sometimes I think that they're helping you find the punchline, and it's no, man, I came here prepared. I don't need your help.
Yeah,
just sit back and relax.
Have you had many people try and help you with that?
Yeah, it's often people who are quite friendly, but then when they keep repeating the crowd, you can sense they're getting annoyed.
Yeah.
So normally it's like respect your peers and they will self-regulate.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't need to, I've never booted anybody out.
That's
I think
good.
because if you're booing a minority,
Yeah.
it's
Oh, yeah.
like, you're a piece of shit. Like,
Yeah,
their friends will tell
that's a
them.
real bad one, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
But yeah, between live and like television, I think they balance each other out really well because the no censorship stuff for live
Yep.
is the outlet I need when I'm being more controlled in the editing suite and everything with
Yeah.
tally stuff. And because like I work on a more political news show called China Tonight, a lot of the things do need to cater for that ABC audience.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And yeah, you can just imagine the Twitter threads that pop up after each airs.
Whoever like has to manage all of the like socials for that.
Oh
God
yeah, I
bless
met
them.
that woman last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's actually very chirpy. Yeah, but
I think
a lot
you
of
need
people.
to be. Otherwise, you're just like 30 years old, grey hair, just like
Yeah.
lying down every chance you get, being like, some of the stuff. people
Yeah,
have said
her
to me."
main clapback was just, I turn it off. Like, I
Oh,
just
okay.
block off. I just don't allow the comments whenever she's had enough and
What a
just walks
saint.
away. Yeah, yeah,
That sounds like genuinely one of the fucking hardest jobs.
yeah, definitely. I know friends who have to do writing work for the project, but as a part of that, you do need to monitor the social
The
channels.
socials,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's just
I've
like a
heard that
rite of
before.
passage, and yeah, it'll give you a mental breakdown.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised. Especially the project that, for whatever reason, people think they need to voice every little concern they've had about every single guest.
Yes.
What I've heard, every single host, every single little cutaway. Yeah, you don't need to write that. Anyone, I don't know if anyone listening to this does that, but if you do, you don't need to write into them.
Are you getting any hate for this podcast?
I
yet?
haven't yet. It's mostly been pretty positive.
Send in your
If you
first
do-
piece
if
of
you do-
hate.
No, do not
At-
listen to Annie.
Send me a-
No, god damn it. Send it to the podcast, not my personal page at very least. Jeez, I don't know if I can handle that. I'm a very fragile young boy.
Oh yeah, clearly you're an actor.
Yeah, I know, right? I just want positive attention. If anything bad happens to me, I'll crawl up in a ball for 2 weeks. Anyway, enough about bullying me. We've got some embarrassing stories here. So now Annie came the most prepared I've had of any
No
of the
way.
guests. Not a slight to anyone else. I've really enjoyed everyone else, but I got paragraphs and it was
Yeah.
so detailed. And so anyone that's going to be on this show, do that fucking for me, please.
I'm used to having
so
to pitch
nice.
stuff and get it approved. So whenever someone goes, yeah, got any ideas for this? Like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
And now that I've got no like regular radio show,
Yep.
I'm just collecting ideas like for
Yeah,
nothing, I
nice.
guess,
That's
which-
great.
Yeah, my friends are probably feeling a lot safer now because it used to be like every conversation like, you're going to be talking about this on radio?
Is this part of like this going into the nation?
Yeah, that's right. It's just going, into every household around the country.
I'd be
But-
way more guarded as well, to be honest with you. I'd be like, oh God, I've got some
Yeah.
stupid thing I've done. It's going to be all over the radio tomorrow morning.
No one is safe. Yeah, but if you want to start at the very beginning,
Yeah,
I reckon a
do.
lot of embarrassing things happened when you're first starting out and you don't know.
What is what?
Like what's a legitimate opportunity and what's something that is just hanging out at some random dude's place with his weird friends.
Yeah, no, and that like, and it's such an unfortunate thing because like if you become, I don't know, accountant, you go through university, you get into a firm. I don't know if this is how accountancy works, but this is what I presume. But whereas like acting or performance and stuff like that, you just be like, oh, I've studied and now what? Like maybe
Yeah.
I try and get an agent, and then there's these casting things online where you can go on and check out jobs, and you're like, is that a good person? Is it not? Like,
And the phrase "a gig is a gig"
Yeah.
comes up all the time because
oh my
people are
God,
just
you get
happy.
paid in exposure.
Yeah, exposure bucks, which
yeah.
you can't cash out at any bank. And in fact, this is how we met. Is
It is
on one of
actually,
those
yeah.
random gigs that I regretted later because
Did you?
I was like, okay, I got paid the equivalent of 2 peanuts, and
Oh,
my
it
friends
was
were
very
like,
little, yeah.
never sign a contract in the shoot.
No, I know. You turn up and you're like, sign this quickly, and then you get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
it's-
learnt my lesson. My friends were like texting me constantly for like 1 to 2 years later, being
Wow.
like, hey, screenshots, like, congrats on your ad being everywhere. And I'm like, I didn't
my
consent
God.
to this.
I saw mine once, and then I don't know. I'm quite a scruffy looking guy if I don't properly put myself together, and I hadn't properly put myself together for that day because of the amount of pay. So I was just a
Wise.
little bit.
Yeah, it was a photo shoot for a university, and I
Yeah.
guess they must have gone, the diversity hire is going really well. Let's keep putting money into that.
Let's not put this homeless guy out too much.
Well, yeah, we'll cut him out of it.
Yeah.
Just keep pushing this lady who looks like she's studying psych or something like that.
It was something along those lines, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. So yeah, basically, when I first started out doing comedy, I had a gig. I think it was in Richmond at a place that's now
nice.
closed down called Station 59. Used to have this open mic night every Wednesday, and I met a Chinese guy there who was also starting out in comedy, and he said, "I'm going to make like a short film. Do you want to be in it? Like, I'm looking for someone to play a teacher." And I was like, yeah, that's like right up my alley. Like, I've always had like a affinity with education and was a tutor when I was in uni. So I was like, yeah, okay, jump on board. So he gave me a time to meet at his place, and he said about like a few days before, he goes, "I am also looking for a blonde girl. Like, do you to play a student? Would you know anyone?" And I just finished high school, and I knew that this chick named Lizzie was a star of every musical. She was like, you know, the absolute cream of the crop, was going to be on like Broadway someday. So I asked her to come along to the shoot, and she said yes. And I was like, cool, because I didn't really know her that well. So I was like, oh, it's going to be really fun. Like, I really tried to convince her that it was going to be a good time.
God, it's bad when you have to sell people on something that you don't know anything about as well.
So I got there and I had to pop on like a wig that was like a really bad wig. It was like red. I think like a red-headed wig. I don't know
why
going
people
on.
do that as well, right? And you're like, this wig's going to sell a character. You're like, this looks like it's from a $2 shop.
That it was probably from
was
a
it?
$2
Perfect.
shop.
Yeah,
And I had to wear my own clothes, and I think Lizzie came in her old school uniform, which was probably only a few months
making me uncomfortable now, I'm going to be honest.
And then he had like a scraggly friend like do the filming while he was like kind of directing, and we spent like an hour or two just doing extreme close-ups of my face with like the only lighting was like a torch. I don't know what it was, but I think
So this is a snuff film, right?
I don't know whether they were making like a horror version of this, but I was just so highly uncomfortable with
Was
like
there
no
a
one
script
liked
involved? Did you get to see any of this beforehand?
There was a script.
Okay.
I think, yeah. And then the worst part was that Lizzie's role was to eat a biscuit on the lawn, like in slow-mo, and they made her do it like 20 times. So she had to lay on her stomach in her uniform and eating this biscuit really slowly. And I never saw the footage, and to this day, I lost contact with Lizzie, and I'm just so apologetic.
I'm not surprised on Lizzie's behalf. I would probably never speak to you again after that as well.
And like, I don't think she ever pursued acting again.
Oh my God, you broke her.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like maybe I remember maybe in university she did something. I don't think that it was because of me. I can't allow it.
Well, this is a good platform. If you would like to issue a public apology to Lizzie
H, wherever you are, I am so sorry. And if you suffered any trauma, don't sue me. Don't sue me when I'm a celebrity.
At Annie Louie, come and bully her online, please. But we can try and find the footage for you if you like.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
So it's when this kind of stuff happens, I'm always on the fence about, do I want to see this again? Because if I see it, it means it's somewhat being released into the world and other people can find it, or do I want to leave it for these insanely creepy men just to have it as a personal collection?
Just straight to the wank bank.
I
think it's better off there. Like, I mean, we were both of age, consenting adults, and
good, and like, good's not the right word for the entire circumstance, but in that respect, that is good. Okay.
Yeah, meeting the bare minimum criteria for adult, but
for not going to jail.
for not going to jail.
It's some of that stuff is so unnerving. So like, I think it's a pretty good rule for anyone starting out now. And it's like, you've learned this and I've had to learn this as well. Don't turn up to strangers' houses. If you can, try and find a filming location and stuff like that that's like mutual ground, or at least meet them a few times beforehand. Obviously, you'd met this person at stand up. So, and as well, when you're younger.
We say that as we're in a little room here at your house I've never been to, and I met you one time.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ. She knows this is a snuff podcast.
This thing's not even recording. Like, I don't know where this is going. Like, I don't know.
We're just talking into shoes. These aren't even microphones. But I do need you to eat some biscuits after this.
There's definitely a soggy biscuit gag there. I'm not going to go.
I'm celiac, so I can proudly say I have no biscuits. All right. The rice cake. But like, don't turn up to people's houses. I think at the end of the day, if you absolutely have to, like, don't bring your friend that doesn't also know what's going on as well. Bring some big
And I don't think I'd cleared this with any other adults in my life.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
Maybe
cool. So if you
talk to
disappeared, then
somebody,
yeah.
like just ask them, hey, this is happening. What would you say? Sus or not? Like
Yeah.
just get some
Yeah,
feedback.
especially when you're like starting out and you're like, somebody wants me to be in something, I don't have to audition for it. This is so amazing
Yes.
and stuff like that. Yeah, but again, like, oh, that's unfortunate. I had this one audition. Audition. This isn't air quotes. Audition. I don't even know how to talk anymore. This story's really. I'm sitting here sweating now.
Because of the
And he's just
jailbait
accused me
tale.
of almost murdering her or bring her here to murder her. But yeah, this one audition.
Yep.
And it was modeling agency, reputable modeling agency, reached out to me. I wasn't signed with them or anything like that. They'd found my stuff online, reached out to me and asked if I'd be interesting to audition through them for this clothing company. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. This was like quite a few years ago. I don't model so much anymore now because I'm, as aforementioned, old and haggard. Look a little bit scruffy.
That needs to be the name of a company that does that type of modeling. Just old and haggard.
Yeah.
Old and haggard talent.com.au.
Scruffs TM, yeah. Okay, well, nobody steal that. I'm going to set that up. But yeah, they were like, here's the address. It's for a clothing company. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. Go along to the audition or the meeting or whatever it was, and it was in the base of a hostel. So it was just in the foyer of a hostel. And I was like, oh, maybe I have the wrong address. So I went in and I was like going in to walk to the reception to ask if they had like other rooms or if there was something. And there was this little interesting looking man sitting in the corner and then saw me come in and like waved me over and he's like, oh, Seb, how are you? And it's just like almost a caricature of a pervert. Yeah. So he was just sitting there, tiny little glasses, like hunched over, sweating. Oh, no. Yeah. Just like a little pot belly. I was just like, everything you're like, just stereotypes exist for a reason with that man. So he was like, oh, hi, thanks for coming along. And I was like, oh, cool.
Is that where the office was? Like that was where they're based permanently, or they just rented
that was just
little...
I think that guy was staying there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it was just this man, no one else. He was just sitting down. He printed
the CEO
out
and founder of
printed out black and white copies of comp cards for the models. So like a comp card's just like a bunch of different modeling photos. So they were black and white. You couldn't afford the colored printed version. So he came down, he sat down, he's like, okay, so this is what it is. So like you'll be there and you'll be with one other model on the day and stuff like that. And we probably have about 20 garments for you to get through, but it'll be like quite a full day, but it'll be fun and stuff like that and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, what are the garments? And he's like, oh, they're wool. And I was like, so this is an actual thing. I am allergic to wool.
Jeez, is there anything you're not allergic to?
Mate, I'm falling apart. As like aforementioned, I'm old and haggard.
Yeah,
I've got maybe 3 months
now.
left.
Yeah.
Please.
I've got a sweater here and some crackers.
I need to lie down halfway through this podcast. That's why I'm sweating so much. My body's working overtime to stay alive. But yeah, the man was like, okay, they're wool garments. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm allergic to wool. It's like, that's all right. We can maybe work something out. And I was like, what are they? And he's like, underwear.
Woolen underwear.
Yeah.
That's just, as a normal person, I'd be allergic to that too.
Yeah, I know.
Get
right?
that away from me. What do you mean? Like, that is the hottest part of your body.
I think these are more fashion over function from what he was trying to describe. And he's like, they're very big in Europe. And I was like, I'm European. I've never heard of these before.
But you're also Scottish and allergic to wool, which is like one of the biggest exports. Right?
And also celiac, which is like most of the Scottish diet is fried crumb stuff, bread, oatcakes. Yeah, so yeah, I'm not very good.
You mostly escaped to find safety.
I had to leave for Australia because otherwise I was going to die at 21.
Yeah. So you didn't put the garments on?
No, so he didn't have any garments, and I don't know where I would have gotten changed or anything like that. But then he was like, "Oh, so what do you do to stay fit?" And I was like, "Oh, I go to the gym and Brazilian jiu-jitsu." And he's like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's kind of like submission wrestling." And he's like, "Oh, wrestling? Okay. Maybe we could have you and the other model in like wrestling poses as well." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, like action shots of you wrestling the other model."
But just rewind. You said there were no garments. Like,
he didn't have anything there at the time. No, he was just sitting there. He was just in the foyer of a hostel, which I believe is now closed. It was up at the north end of the city. Just him and a little table in the corner with black and white printed out comp cards. He had nothing on him. Sorry, he was like clothed.
Wait, he was
He was clothed. He didn't have any additional garments on him.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Oh, you can do some wrestling with the other model." Didn't ask, just said I could do it, which was very nice. I got permission to wrestle the other model. And then he was like, "Okay, can you stand up?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then he went to rub my belly. I think he wanted to see how flat it was. And then I was like, "Oh," and he was like, "Oh, I just need to check your sizes." And I was like, "It's okay, thanks."
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
he was
can
like,
send those to you. But even then, I'd already so many red flags here.
Yeah, I know.
Keep running.
I was like starting off again, and I was, I should have known better. But then at this point, he's like, okay, he wasn't happy with that. And then I was like, is there anything else? And he was like, no, it's okay. We'll be in touch. And then I went, and I never heard back from either the modeling agency or that.
Did he take photos
little
or anything?
pervert.
Or it was
well,
just...
he didn't take any photos, but he had all my printed out, air quotes, modeling photos
of you.
Of me.
That he'd sourced through you or
No,
somewhere?
I think the modeling agency had found them online of me and then sent it through to him.
Yeah. Oh man, it's that when there's no closure and you can only imagine what would have happened next.
I do want to know if other people did that, and I'm too scared to look up men wrestling in woolen underwear.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'll do it for you. Just
thank you.
Check. Yeah.
If you could send through anything, it has to be European style as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and you never saw anything advertised, like a campaign that was similar for any sort of.
Money for a campaign. I'm going to suggest, or going to say, this was entirely for himself.
Yeah.
Much in the same with your biscuit eating schoolgirl fantasy stuff.
Yep.
I think this was entirely for one very sweaty little man.
Yeah, for one night only. Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to find every possible way that could have been above board, but I cannot come to the
I am also
conclusion
very
it
happy
is.
that I never got a call back for that as well, because I have a very hard time saying no to things. So
Oh,
I could
God.
have been like, yes, thank you.
As you're there all rashy with
All covered in a rash and having to wrestle this other.
Yeah.
It's just this man taking photos of us in the bottom of a hostel.
I'm loving it. Thank you for this opportunity.
His hostel room. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on
That was
from
quite
that.
cathartic, though, being able to, put that out there. Never before said. Being able to, apologize through the podcast airway.
Through the internet,
Yeah.
if
So,
you're out
that was definitely on par. 1 for 1, I'd say. Like,
okay. I need to
Guilt
save some of my
absolution.
save some of my stories for. Oh God, I'm knocking the recorder off the desk. Save some of my stories for the later podcasts as well.
Yeah.
I just throw them all out there sometimes. I'm like, I need to save some, but then they all keep coming back, and it's like, I've had quite an embarrassing life. So maybe I'll
God,
be fine.
that's perfect.
And they just keep happening as well. Like I sweated through my knees the other day at training for stunts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the sweatiest knees. My knees were
Crazy.
leaking.
I mean, I
Yeah.
can't believe it, but like last week, I was looking up what does it take to become a stunt actor. And I started looking
so
around,
much
and you
stuff.
popped up on,
Oh,
on
really?
the website. It must have been like your agent, but I thought, okay,
wow.
like maybe I'd be interested. But then I saw like you've got to satisfy like 7 criteria,
it's a
and I'm
lot.
like, I can't swim, and I am afraid of heights. So that's
Okay,
like,
well,
me
that's
like
2 of
ruled
them out of the window
out.
then. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't die in the ocean. I could survival stroke and float endlessly.
Survival's good,
Yeah,
but
doggy
yeah.
paddle freestyle a little bit.
Stunt
but-
actors just like, you just need to survive in the ocean for 2 minutes, doggy paddle your way out, and that'll be fine.
Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, I'm like, what a coincidence that you contacted me a few days after that.
Well, after this, we're going to put you through the paces with all this stunt acting stuff now
cool.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
So,
great.
Yeah. Set you on fire and throw you out a window.
Nice.
And then we'll start the stunt stuff.
Okay, great.
That's what we call a joke in the business. I mean, I don't think it was.
I don't want to know about your personal life, okay?
No.
Let's keep it clean.
All right, my windows don't open fully, so I can't throw anyone out
Yeah.
of them. Thank you very much. Like in a nice way. I'm not in a asylum. Anyway, let's move on. So your second story.
Yeah, my second story. Well, it depends on like what route you want to go down, like the celebrity route, or do you want something that's a bit more heartfelt?
Annie has come in with some name drops.
Yeah.
I don't know how to edit in sound effects, so I'm just going to have to say clang whenever she drops
Oh,
names.
you can just do it afterwards.
I know, I don't know how to do that. I'm very fresh at this. It's a lot of work actually going through stuff. I have to listen to my own voice for so
Yeah.
long.
Have you been through the Creative Commons music route yet? Where you have to go
No.
listen to all the free music and they suck. Like every song sounds the same and you're like, kill me now. All the
Yeah.
corporate music.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, no, I could only imagine. I mean, you're way more experienced broadcaster than I am. So.
Not enough to the point where I'm paying for music.
Yeah, I know.
Just sitting there
What?
going.
ABC jobs don't let you have enough money to pay for
that's-
music?
no.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, so your choice, free choice. Do you
Well, I
want
reckon
you
you
want
just
the next one to be a
mentioned
celeb
ABC
one?
as
Yeah,
well.
okay,
Yeah,
cool.
so that's a nice
yeah.
segue if I didn't shit all over it there. Yeah.
So the godfather of the ABC is Stan Grant, basically. He's like on lots of programs,
Yeah.
very well respected, and
Look him up if you don't know who he is.
yeah, he's also, a huge name in the Indigenous community for doing lots of great work. His
Yeah.
autobiography is like very powerful about how he overcame basically, being on the streets. He was like beating people up. He was getting beat up, and then he went to university and found his like career passion in
Genuinely
journalism.
amazing stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. So I was lucky enough to be on the show with him from the start of China Tonight, and he was at the desk, episode 1. He's in Sydney, I'm in Melbourne, and I was mostly brought on board to do comedy stories.
Yep.
So it'd be like cultural correspondent type stuff, but with a comedic bent.
Yep.
So my first story was about stand-up comedy and how it's basically illegal in China, like super difficult to
Is
do.
it actually?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
holy shit.
the Communist Party has representatives that will read scripts
Oh my
at
god.
like a local level. Like no matter where you go, just some random open mic, you've got to have it approved before it can go
So
on
all
stage.
your jokes have to be pre-scripted.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So like,
Yeah.
oh my god,
And it's like,
that's
who's got
something
time
else.
for that? But I also found out recently that there are human sensors that look at online content, short form videos. Like
Wow.
imagine like every TikTok needs to be eyeballed because they've got so many different things that they don't allow now. Like even armpits need to be censored. Like no armpits, no nipples, male, female, anybody's nipples.
God.
No nipples.
That's no nipples, all right?
Yeah,
no
yeah,
nipples.
yes.
Armpits, we're on the fence about, but no nipples.
Yeah.
They're going to start working their way all around into, yeah, my God, that's fucking,
I know.
I mean, bizarre, but terrible as well. But yeah.
But I guess like if you live there, you kind of just get used to it. You don't know
Yeah.
what you don't know. So you're like, haven't seen a nipple in a while. You're like,
Does that
"Oh,
even
yeah,
have
I
nipples
feel like,
anymore?
yeah. Although I do think that it would drive me, like, when you're not allowed to have something, I'd be like, I need to look at a nipple.
I need all these nipples. Just going around to underground bars to find some nipples.
Even animals
Even animal nipples?
yeah, animal nipples, like cats' bum holes, they're like censored.
I can do without them. It's
Yeah. But it's like in a way, I never thought of them as sexual, but now you're saying that's banned and that's naughty. I'm like, well, I'm going to be Googling cat's bum
why am
hole.
I suddenly aroused by this cat
Yeah,
butthole?
yeah, so-
And then the furry community was born. Yeah.
A lot of the YouTubers will put little emojis and like, track them if they ever need to post pictures of their pet.
Oh my God. That's so sad. I mean, again, like obviously the human stuff's horrible. Cat's butthole, I can't live with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's going to be a boom of furries in China in like 4
True
years, I
that.
reckon.
Yeah. So that's I digress, but censorship, it's always
Yeah.
in the mix with any story about China.
Yeah.
But I did an after package chat with Stan, so it's only goes for about 2 minutes. And after
Could you explain for the listeners what
yeah, sure.
after
Okay.
packages?
So, a package is something that plays on air that you've pre-recorded.
Yeah,
and
like a
so
little
it's like
segment.
a story.
Yeah.
Segment. And then afterwards, you sit at the desk and you have what looks like a live chat.
Yep.
You pre-record it, so that's called as live. And we talked, and he laughed a lot. He laughed heaps. I'm like, I know I'm a comedian and sometimes I'm funny, but I really didn't think I was that funny. So I was kind of just sitting
How
there
much is
awkwardly, like.
heaps?
So the whole show had no laughter, and then
Oh.
it came to my segment, and it was like he blew his lid. He
Oh,
was like enjoying it a lot, and so I was like,
That's nice.
yeah. I was like, yeah, that's kind of nice, but you know when you don't deserve it, and that
There's nothing
you've done
worse than a
better,
pity
you know.
laugh.
Yeah. So then after that, I talked about this experience on ABC Radio with Sammy J, and we talked at length about Stan laughing heaps, and then the next week. Somebody told me at ABC that like, oh, I heard you did this interview down in Melbourne, and by the way, Stan hears everything.
So you spoke about Stan on ABC Radio, which is ABC.
Yeah,
Yeah, cool.
correct.
No, just double checking that. That's all good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
everyone was, I guess, in the tent, and I wasn't really thinking that it would get back to him because I'm like, he doesn't have time to listen to every radio. There's like, lots of local programs. Every major city has one. He's not
Yeah.
going to know. But maybe it popped up in like a keyword search or something like that, because the next week...
Alerts going off
Yeah.
for his name. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. The next week, he didn't laugh at all.
Oh.
Not even a single giggle. And I thought, shit, I have broken Stan Grant. He hates me. He's never going to laugh again.
Now, did you come in with more jokes the next week? Because you're like, all right, he's laughing so much, I'm going to have to come in with more jokes to like up the ante, or...
I think I played it as I would have the first time.
Oh,
like just,
okay,
you know,
okay.
like the same level
Yep.
and just see what happened. And I felt like I was really hurried along that next time. And I
okay.
was like, shit. I've really cooked
Not
it now.
one single laugh as well. No.
It was
God, there's
it was
nothing.
like he was like deliberately holding it in.
Yeah.
But since then, we've kind of found a happy medium. I feel like
Nice.
that's like, you know, an appropriate amount of banter.
Yeah.
And he has just been, you know, nothing but professional. Since
Oh,
then. So, you know,
lovely.
maybe I thought it's a serious program. Sometimes
Yeah.
you just got to let off a little bit of steam. And if
Yeah,
I'm
right.
there as the comedic relief, I'm happy for people.
Maybe he just found you funny, Annie. Jesus, all right? Maybe you're going on
Like
radio
crippling
complaining about someone
self-doubt.
laughing at a comedian. My God.
Yeah. That's right.
But yeah, that's... When people don't laugh at jokes, it is... I mean, I'm sure... I was going to say, I'm sure you're used to it. That sounds horrible.
Oh, damn. That's
But-
a harsh review.
coming up in comedy, it will happen, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keeps you humble.
it does, doesn't it? It's also the longest silence until you're like, do I need to wait for this laugh or should I just move
Yeah.
on?
Sometimes that's the electrifying feeling, though, of trying something new for the first time. There's
Yeah.
nothing like it where there's that extra beat and you're like about to shit your pants. And
Yeah.
then they laugh and you're like, oh, thank God, this is the greatest
Woo!
feeling ever.
And then you can finally breathe and be like, okay, these people enjoy this.
It's the roller coaster that keeps you in it.
I have another story now as
No
well.
way.
I know that you've just reminded me of my own little fucking... I'm not a comedian, as I'm sure anyone listening to this will have worked out by now, literally 1 minute into any episode. But I was doing a radio interview once for Triple R, a local
yeah.
Melbourne station. Very nicely had myself and one of my co-stars on for a play that we were doing. And I had never done radio before, so I was like, I'm going to come in with jokes. I'm going to be funny and like be that cool guy. And I went in and it was... The person interviewing wasn't dry, but it was a show discussing theatre. So not where you come in and be like, hey, fart jokes. Blah, blah.
I think I know that show that you're
Oh, do
talking
you?
about.
Oh, fuck.
I think that person used to be my boss.
Oh, really?
When I was interning, yeah.
All right. Well, you can tell me if this is a
Yeah.
no. This is a bad joke, but we went in and we were talking about the show, and it was right after the big Avengers film came out, the one where they all turned to dust. Spoilers for anyone that hasn't seen
I
that.
think I've seen that one.
Oh fuck.
Great. No, it's fine. I'm not a
but
huge
no, they don't.
superhero fan.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, loads of them turned to dust. I cried in the cinema. It was very sad. And then a few weeks later, we were doing this interview, and I was like, I'm going to say this play is as sad as Avengers. I was like, this is a good joke. Hindsight, fucking horrible, but I was just panicked. And I was like, okay. And then I went in, and I was like, I was quite nervous and I hadn't done any of this stuff before, and I was like, he was like asking about the play. I was like, yeah, and it's like it's really funny and it's really sad. Like it's almost as sad as the last Avengers. And just silence.
I can only assume he hadn't seen it though.
No, okay. See, I'm a nerd and I watch too much of this stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe he didn't hear it.
Oh no.
So I repeated it 1 minute later. And it was, he was like, I was like, I'm not in the first half of the play, so I'm not in the first bit before half time. Or interval, as they call it.
Sports.
Yeah, I'm into sports as I sit here in a t-shirt that has manga on it. Yeah, I'm cool. But yeah, and I was like 1 minute later, and I was like, yeah, so I get to sit down and watch the entire first half of it, and like it's really like endearing and really like uplifting. But then there's moments that are so sad, like it's almost as sad as the last Avengers. And just silence again.
Wait, this is the second time.
The second time I've said it.
Why
Yeah.
would this is live radio, right? It's live.
I don't know. My brain literally turned to mush. It was live radio because not only did I like put it on Instagram that I was going to be on it, you can go back and listen to it afterwards.
Yeah.
Online, as you can. with fucking everything that's live now.
Because sometimes you can get away with a lot with people thinking that their radios have glitched. So
Yeah.
they might have thought that, I must have hit
No, I did a different setup.
Oh.
Yeah, so and then it was just silence, and we just moved on. And then he was such a nice guy, and I don't want to name names. Annie's old boss, maybe.
Yeah.
But fuck, I was.
That reminds me of a story my previous theatre director told me. She was on a cruise ship and she was doing entertainment that was set into two halves as well. So
Yeah.
they had a half time too. And And so she went and did her jokes and it went really well. And then the second half, she did some more jokes and it went really badly. And she's like, that's super weird. Like, they were loving me before. And for some reason in the intermission, she just completely lost her marbles and did the exact same set again.
Oh, okay.
Basically did nearly all the same jokes because she was frazzled. And so that was why they hated her.
See, that's almost performance art, but I don't think a cruise ship's quite ready for performance art.
Yeah, it might also be because they have to do so many shows a day. Like sometimes if you're on there, you got to do like three times a day, and like whoever wants to comes. So there's like endless entertainment for them.
And cruise ships as well. Like you think about like, I have to walk everywhere, blah blah blah. Cruise ships, there's no public transport, and they can be like half a kilometer long. Like it's insane.
That. Yeah,
so you're constantly like walking, and
you don't know what time
crew
of day
cabins.
it is.
No, you live in a hovel.
Yeah, it's
essentially.
Like it's a floating casino basically.
And
they do have casinos on the boat.
Casino, they got everything. But yeah, like I've had friends that have done that sort of stuff as well. So I'm not surprised. I'm also a little bit surprised that the people that were on the cruise ship didn't just be like, funny joke again. Not disparaging people that are on there, but I have
out of politeness.
Yeah. Or just like, I don't know, they've been on there for like 6 weeks drinking 15 mimosas every single day. I'm like, I'm surprised they even knew that they were on a boat.
True. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah, I think so. It happens to the best of us. Not saying that what I did was.
It's totally fine. They interview so many people every week that they also can't even remember.
It's also like that's the thing that sticks in my mind still to this day. I guarantee you he doesn't even bat an eyelid at it.
No, but next time I run into him, I will ask.
No, please, for God's sake, do not bring that up again. Fuck, it's probably online somewhere as well.
You should just go grab it and insert it back into this podcast.
No.
Here it is. Like we always, you want to show people. Show, not tell.
I posted one from last week's episode of me doing a fashion catwalk, so I don't want to post too much from my embarrassing
video
stuff
as well.
No, it's just a photo. It's a sad photo.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look at it.
No,
I've somehow missed it.
no, thank
Were you clothed?
No, I was clothed. I was clothed.
But still sad.
Just still sad. A little 19-year-old, little sad eyes. I didn't like it. I was wearing so much foundation as well. I was white.
But the guy at the hostel loved it. He had it in front of him.
That was actually one of the photos he printed out. Yeah, he's like, I love how sad your eyes are. Can you be that sad? Let me touch your belly. I was like, I'm getting there. I'm close to being that sad now.
Sad kink.
He's like, you're just more scared than sad. Yeah, I know, right? Oh God. Anyway, I'm stuck. I'm knocking things on my shelf now. I'm telling too many of my own stories. All right, so I think this is finally time for the big name drops from Annie as well. Yeah, all of these celebrities.
Celeb name drops, that's what I'm here for. I put my foot in it a lot, doing live radio. You do churn through.
I don't know how you don't, to be honest with you. Like every day, like just saying things. I'm saying things in this just now. I'm like, what the fuck did I just say?
Yeah.
I can delete this. Actually, it's going to be fully gone.
You could just backspace it right now and no one ever has to hear. But we usually get prepped like, a day before or 2 days before who you're interviewing. So when I was doing Joy, we did a show called Up Early for like a year during lockdown. Got up and was on air at 6. You're not at your best at 6.
How are those? What time do you have to get up if you're on air by 6?
4:45
that is
disgusting. What you need.
Yeah.
My co-host lived in the country, so he would actually be up at 3, but he's a farmer, so he bounces out of bed full gusto, loving life.
That's
sickening. Yeah.
Who is this person? How dare they think that that's all right? Like, that is disgusting. No,
so
I'm not having that.
They're night people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Well, it depends. I get up in the morning because most of the time you film during the daytime unless it is a nighttime shoot. But I don't have to get up till like 7 or 8 some days, and I'm like, this is perfect.
Yeah, that's still
3 o'clock.
really
that's
early
horrible.
for comedians, and I like daytime.
Of
like
course,
1 p.m.
you're real like night people, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not the worst though. I do maintain like a regular sleep schedule.
Nice.
Like midnight is probably when I go to bed.
Oh, that's good.
Midnight's like just the easiest calculate how many hours have I had. That's
I know,
purely,
right?
and I'm like a bit dyslexic with numbers.
So you're like, no, that's easy. It is. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I suppose there's not too many gigs in the morning as well. No one's doing stand up at brunch.
No. Yeah, unless you're at Edinburgh Fringe, which I loved because there'd be like 10 a.m. shows followed by morning tea.
Yeah. So Edinburgh Fringe is like, it's such a mixed bag of things. I love that there's shows at that time in the morning as well. I don't know if I've seen a good one at that time in the morning, I'll be honest.
We had one that was like far too good. Sindhu V
Oh, really?
was there. Like she's done live at the Apollo.
Oh,
and
no
yeah,
shit.
it just
Wow.
dropped in. I was like, this woman's really good. And then I'm like, yeah,
Daytime?
no shit. Like, yeah, afterwards Googled her. I
Wow.
was like, oh my God, I should have like gotten her autograph.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just in like a little, it was almost like a library, like it's level 2 of a library. You know?
I've said this on the podcast before. Edinburgh Fringe, you can literally perform in someone's shed, in someone's front
Yes,
room.
attic. I've been to an attic.
Yep, attic. Yeah, if there's a big enough bus stop, sometimes.
Yeah.
There's so many different shows which people are like, I'm going to host it outside. It's a different
Yes.
experience. You're like, no, you're hosting it outside because you can't get a venue because you're doing some horrible walking show.
That's true.
Yeah.
They call it performance art.
Performance art,
Instead.
and that's fine. But I don't know.
As
I
a
think I'm a bit
punter, if you
jaded.
never, if you don't go start your morning at 10, you're never going to fit in the 7 shows that you want to
No,
see.
that's true as well.
Yeah, it's
and a lot
purely
of the
functional.
daytime shows are donation shows as well. So if you're a real, like, this is a stereotype of Scottish people. If you're a real, like, skis, like, real cheap bastard, you're like, I'm going to see 8 shows today and not pay a single pound.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so there's
I
a
mean,
lot
I
of-
did. I ate a lot of cakes, and I don't
Did
think I'm very sure the gig was probably unpaid, but I ate my money's worth of cake.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah.
Take from if you're out there, take as much as you can from artists. That's what I say. If you go to a gig and it's donation only, just steal something. Don't give a
True.
donation. Yeah.
That's what like Will Anderson says, I think, about planes. Like, as the moment that you step on, it's time for you to cash back in.
Yeah,
so, like,
right.
whatever you can grab.
400 bags of peanuts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
minusing off your ticket.
I got 4,000 sick bags if anyone wants to pay for them. Yeah. I don't know what
Sell
you
them
use
online.
them for.
Yeah, no idea. So yeah, we were getting prepped for this interview. Didn't have a lot of time. Akmal was coming on.
Yeah, nice.
Legend of the Aussie scene. I think he's like Egyptian. He's Egyptian.
Yeah.
And
We've been around for a long time as well. Eh?
And so we were interviewing him, and right at near the end of the interview, it was going pretty well. Just had 10 minutes with him.
Yeah.
And then we were asking him to like plug his socials, and I was like, hey, Akmal, the other day I saw that there's an account of yours that's a fake account. Did you know that? Like, you should really report it. Like, this,
Yeah.
the content's really weird, and there's only 200 followers.
What content was it?
Just
May
like,
I ask?
like kind of like weird, like boomery kind of memey stuff.
Oh,
like
no.
screenshots reposted.
Did he
or
have any Minions memes? Oh, that's such a hard word to say. Minions memes?
Minions meme? Probably. like,
I would have reported that regardless,
maybe,
even
like,
if
some
that was his.
inspirational quotes. I don't know.
Oh, dear.
And then Akmal goes, no, like that is me. 200 followers. That's me.
What?
And I was like, I'm sorry. I just like full burnt his profile saying the content is like weird and it's a scam and it's definitely not him. Like,
But, I mean-
everybody report it.
I'm on your side here. First of all, he has been around for a long time. Like,
Yeah. I think he just started his account or something.
oh,
But this was like,
he's so well known. I thought he would have had people managing that sort of
That's
stuff. Or at
right.
least somebody, just a little kind word in their ear. I mean, preferably not on live radio.
I think he probably does now. Like, there's
Yeah.
no way right now he'd have 200 followers.
200
He's like
followers
touring
and
and stuff
terrible
now.
memes.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't verified, Like,
Yeah,
somebody
wow.
should have done that for him.
You should have stolen his like actual username and got it verified.
True.
Sold it off to him. There
Yeah,
you go. Make some of that money.
So I don't know if he remembers that. I'm sorry, Akmal.
That was on live radio as well.
Yeah,
Oh, we can
luckily-
find that as well. I'll insert this clip here. No.
Yeah. But thank God, faces aren't associated with radio. So if I saw him in the street, there's no way he would remember me. By
Oh,
voice.
so it wasn't in studio?
No, it was on a telephone.
Oh,
phoner.
that's lucky.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
saved there. All right.
Yeah, it'd be just like all these two community radio
Do you follow each other on Instagram now?
No.
Oh.
Like I said, the content's weird.
Well, I'm going to follow Akmal after this. All right, everyone go out there, unfollow Annie Louie, follow Akmal. No, I'm
Yeah,
joking.
that's all
Unfollow
right.
Akmal,
Yeah.
follow Annie Louie. She'll start posting Minions memes.
Yeah, that's it.
Finally.
Don't make me do it. And another time I was doing, in lockdown as well, the stand-up sessions that the Melbourne Comedy Festival were putting out. It's like
Yeah, I saw some of them.
Yeah, in your living room. On YouTube, we had a lineup of, like, there'd be one headliner, really great famous name. We had Reese Nicholson.
Yeah,
on my
fantastic.
Episode, and then I was supporting along with Nazim was like hosting each episode, so he would take you
Oh,
through.
that's right. Of course. Yeah.
all
Nazim
the
Hussain.
comedians. Yeah, Nazim
Yeah.
Hussain. And in the chat before we were about to start the interview section of it, I was like, Nazim, I was on Bumble and I came across someone pretending to be you. They're like catfishing, and I reported it.
Oh.
Because I knew that he was married and he had a kid. And he
Oh.
said, yeah, and he goes, No, that was me. Everybody's been roasting me. Like, I've got Ursula Carson, like, sending me screenshots from her friends. But basically, I'm going through a divorce. And
Oh my God.
I'm on Bumble now. And then he looked, like, so flustered. Like, I felt so bad that I just was just, like, trying to banter with him.
Yeah.
Being like, I found this fake profile, haha. And then it was giving him, like, a breakdown. And I was like, oh,
What a fucking way for him to announce his divorce to you as well.
I know. Oh God! Like, I didn't want to like touch on anything traumatic. Like, I do see those accounts come up like often.
I've
Like,
been one of those accounts before.
Exactly. I've got like people who are not celebrities, just regular friends who I don't know why they've been targeted, but their pictures have been used.
I think it's just like inoffensive looking people. Sometimes they'll be like, there you go, chuck that up there.
That's right.
Get $50 out of them on PayPal or something like that.
True.
Yeah.
So then we had to do the interview after that and pretend like everything was cool.
He's just sitting there having a breakdown. You're like,
Yeah.
so how's the wife? Oh no. Did you actually get his account closed down? How many reports do you have to have?
Oh yeah, good point. I think if there's humans verifying it, he wouldn't have. It's not like one report equals one shutdown profile.
Yeah, I thought he would have been like famous enough to be on like the secret dating apps.
Yeah, that one. I don't think that one was big at
was
that
it not?
time. Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Dilrook's like the perfect poster child for it. And
Right.
I'm too embarrassed to ask him for a referral. So Dilrook, if you're listening, get me on Raya.
Oh, look at that, right? Derek Jai Singer, if you're out there listening to this, I'm sure you are as well. I'll tag you in the Instagram post.
Tag it. Yeah.
Annie
But
Louie's
I didn't-
calling you out now as well.
I didn't know that when you join the app, like it matches you with people from all around the world, basically.
Oh, really?
Because they assume that people of that caliber can just fly anywhere at any time and be with anybody.
So this is an actual real app as well for anyone that's not quite across it. It's like a famous secret app.
Yeah,
for,
where
like,
you have
only
to be
famous people.
famous or hot.
Famous or hot? Oh, okay. So one or the other.
I mean, yeah.
But you can sign up to the app.
yeah,
Is it through referral, is it? Or
It's a referral or verification, but it takes a very long time to get verified if you are somewhat a nobody, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I'm like, it'd be
Right.
so easy if I just asked for a referral from Dill.
Yeah,
but
for sure,
instead,
huh?
I'm like, I think I'm probably 1 millionth in line to
you need
get
to
in
bulk
there.
out the Melbourne sector, I reckon. There'd be like 4 people down here that are classified
Oh yeah,
well
definitely.
known.
Yeah, but when this TV show next season drops, maybe I can get bumped in the queue and finally like
Bring it
match
up.
with a billionaire and be out of here.
Yeah, as you know, ABC love it when you drop names on there. So yeah, just drop the name of the app,
absolutely.
give them a little shout out, tag them in all your posts. Yeah. Dilrook, if you can as well, help out Annie. Yeah. Anyone else you know on it, we can call them all out just
I
now.
actually don't know who else might have used that app to find success because they I think if you did, you'd definitely be shouting from the rooftops about it. And
Oh my
he's
god,
the only
I'm
person who has.
I'm happily in a relationship, and I would definitely be on there if I
Just
could.
to
I'd be like,
prove
oh my
that-
god,
Look, I'm
Valification.
Okay. I'm so
Fuck,
smart.
I hope there's not an English test beforehand. Fuck. Oh my god. I don't know how to edit this stuff out, so this is staying in here.
Oh no, you can just
But-
really.
I know we're recording it just now, and it's
There must be a blade tool or something. I'll have
there
to
is
teach you. Yeah.
I'm just lazy. All right, Annie, I'm just
Gotcha.
lazy. But yeah, no, this app put me on it as well. Why not?
Yeah,
I'm
why not?
I'm lonely. I'm just happy to chat to people. I won't
Maybe
fly
you can make
anywhere.
a friend or something.
Yeah, I really need people to play Marvel Snap with just now. So if anyone on there is playing Marvel Snap, that'd be really nice.
no idea what that is. It sounds incredibly nerdy.
Again, it is so nerdy, but I cannot stop playing it.
Is it a like role player game? What is it?
No role playing, no. So it's
Okay.
like a card game with
Oh,
the
it's a card
event. So it's on the phone. It's in a. Why am
I'm
I
a fan
saying
of
this
board
just now?
games. I like board games.
Okay.
So we're getting deep into the
It's
shame
like-
and embarrassment.
yeah.
So you have to bring everything to the table.
It's like card games in the respect of like Gwent from The Witcher, if you're familiar with that. No,
am
cool,
not.
perfect, excellent. Hearthstone. No,
No.
cool. I think that's Hearthstone as well. Maybe not Hearthstone. No, it's nerdy shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, why am I talking about this?
Because it's very embarrassing.
It
and
is.
I like it.
You've
and
suckered
I'm
me
trying
in
to
with
get
your
to your authentic self.
professional broadcasting skills.
Yeah, the
making me-
interviewee
I'm happy
becomes
to
the
embarrass myself
interviewer.
about all the stuff I do at work. My personal life, absolutely
Yeah.
not.
And where do you think that fascination with these games came from, Sam?
I don't know. Probably deep-seated childhood trauma,
Yeah.
which I'm happy to get into
yes.
just now.
Daddy
if you're interested.
issues?
Mummy issues,
Mummy
daddy
issues,
issues.
yes.
Yeah. Oh God,
There you
brother
go.
issues. Tell me about
What?
it.
Yeah, you got to save something in the tank for your future episodes. So we
Yeah.
just scratch that little surface.
Again, I keep
itch.
saying this is just like a psychologist, like psychiatry for me. So I'm just waiting until somebody from an actual psychology or psychiatry podcast
Yeah.
invites me on.
Yeah.
I'm happy to talk about all of my horrible, like deep-seated past, as long as somebody fixes me.
Yes, yeah, because they say that shame and embarrassment are some of the most unhelpful emotions. It doesn't
Yeah.
really serve you.
Oh, we've gone full broadcaster mode now. So, shame and embarrassment are the most unhelpful
Yeah.
emotions. Let's dig into
Yeah,
this.
well, I was watching there's a series on YouTube called Diary of a CEO, and in one of the biggest rappers' managers gets interviewed.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name now, but he's managed, all of the biggest names in rap. He was like very closely associated with Jay-Z for a long time.
Oh, nice.
And he says like at 4 years old, he felt embarrassed
Oh.
by, it was like a teacher or something. And he
Yeah.
decided in that moment at 4 years old that he would never allow himself to be embarrassed again.
Holy shit, at 4 years old.
4 years old, and because he was like it's such a shit feeling, and he just like grew up in that moment. He's like, and never again have I allowed anyone to make me feel small. I'm like, this guy is like
Well,
the
that's
biggest
why
dick
he's
energy.
out there. Yeah.
And I thought we all need a little bit of that,
Motherfucker,
like
yeah.
in the arts, especially.
Yeah, right. Because you do put yourself out there. I mean, like, we, as obviously the highest pedestal in any society is artists.
Yeah.
But we put ourselves out there a lot more than your average person
Which
would.
means you have more, like a greater height to fall from. Because every gig that I do,
Yeah.
you get this like 2 days of like, oh, that was shit, that was bad.
Yeah.
You flash back to every horrible thing.
Especially
that
everything's
you've said.
recorded now as well, so you just watch it back
Yeah.
and times you're like, fuck. And then it's like, you do stand up, or I've done a fair whack of theatre as well. Like, you do it so much, and you're like, all right, overall that was good. But then if you have one bad performance, you're like, well, the people that came to that one bad performance, that's the only time they've seen it as well. And then you spiral. But yeah,
And you think that the pressure is on when people don't see comedy that often because
Yeah.
they go once a year or something, and they
I
went
know,
to
right?
like a free comedy night, and I'm like, it's free comedy. What did you think you were getting?
you went to an open mic in the back room of a
and
bar,
some
like in a
people
broom
are
closet.
probably thinking they'll never go again because
Yeah.
they had a shit time. And so I really feel for those people, especially
I
when
know,
it's a
right?
lineup show and I couldn't control what other acts were doing.
Yeah.
So if something, racist, sexist, homophobic comes out and you're like, oh no, I can tell these people want to leave and never see comedy again.
It feels like a bit of a strange thing to say, but don't do that stuff for a star, obviously. But like
On the audience's behalf or the don't do that
anyone's
dumbass
behalf.
comedy.
Yeah. Oh no, don't do comedy. Full stop. No, please.
Yeah.
For anyone out there,
Yeah.
don't do anything.
No,
anything
don't
in the
never
arts
do
and entertainment.
anything. Stay home.
Become an accountant.
Be safe.
It was that easy. I explained it at the start of the episode. We're going to finish up. I have one more story that you've just reminded me of
Yeah,
as well.
go
Though
ahead.
this is a nice little stand-up story, which is I was there, but I wasn't part of it. So what? I don't know if you want to answer this. What are your thoughts on comedy schools?
Yeah, hate them.
Oh, okay,
Don't
cool.
do them.
Yep.
If anyone wants to take your money for like an extended period of time,
Get in contact with Annie Louie then.
yeah, well, I do run like workshops every now and then,
Yep.
but often it's not for money.
Yep.
It's because
Oh,
like
wonderful.
they, I might have had a bit of grant funding, or it's for councils, and I'm contracted in, or schools, or going to
Oh,
schools.
awesome.
So yeah, I feel like the only way to get stand-up experience is to go out there and gig, and that costs you nothing.
Yeah, right. It's free. Like literally
free.
open mics. So
Yeah.
never pay for an open mic.
Oh no, you should never pay
Like to perform, I should say, yeah.
unless it's, we get petrol expenses. You have to take yourself
Yeah.
places. You have to
Yeah,
travel
of
and
course,
all of
yeah.
that. But yeah, you should always be paid. There were times like emails where I was confused about who was paying what.
Yeah.
Especially if they're like, we're going to film your set. I'm like, oh, do I need to pay for that
Yeah.
service? Because sometimes, they will charge.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, you need to.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like buy a package, and then like even this year, I like asked, "Is the filming free?" And they're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, of course." And I'm like, "You just never know."
I
Just
know, right?
ask.
Always double check. And
Yeah.
like we were saying, don't sign a contract on the day.
That's
Don't
right.
just assume something. Double
It's like
check
going on
everything
a
100 times.
ride at a theme park and then getting hit with a bill at the end. You
Yeah,
know, for
right.
all your photos and whatnot.
I'm like, oh, what? I
Yeah.
enjoyed it up until this point.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So I was working in this bar that's no longer a bar on one of the little streets in Melbourne. So we've got like the main streets, and then you've got the little streets, like little intersecting streets. And it was the host of a graduation party, graduation
Yeah.
night for a comedy school, a Melbourne
the
comedy
one.
school.
Again, there's only one comedy school.
Oh my God. All right. Well, I'm not in the scene, so I'm happy to burn as many bridges as I can with this
Yeah.
story. So I was there. We were working like maybe 3 bar staff, and all of the comedy acts, or like the graduating comedians, turned up later and later, until like they had it booked out until 9 p.m. and all of them weren't there until 8:30. So they couldn't start until
wow.
8:30.
Yeah. But
This
the
bar,
audience is meant to consist of their family and friends.
Yep.
So are they waiting? They're all waiting. Where the hell are the comedians?
oh, they're all late as well.
Like, are they
Yeah.
boozing up beforehand? Like,
Oh, they were drinking, yeah,
Yeah.
but not crazy. This bar was quite well known for students. So like, it was on a Saturday night, and students are wanting to come in, but we're like, sorry guys, closed until 9 o'clock for this. Finally started the gig at 8:30, and it was like no stage. In the corner of a bar, we just moved a table with a couple of speakers next to them, and whoever the host was, I will say, was good.
Yep.
They kept it together.
Yep.
Very professional. A lot of like charisma. I hope they actually went on to do something with themselves.
they're a professional comedian though, surely, right? Or they
No, they were part of it as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Or as far as I could tell. Again, I
Yeah.
didn't have too much of a background on
Yeah.
this school. And as you said, I think there's only maybe one school.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I've
yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
narrowed that down a little bit. But this was a while ago, admittedly, so maybe it was an older school.
Same school.
Okay.
I'm happy to burn my
okay.
bridge with them. Like, I know a few people have done the course. I
Yeah.
mentor someone who's
Oh,
done
cool.
the course. But there's also been some leaked resources around
Okay.
online. And there's some women in the scene who also happily hate on the school because they're like, they're like in their 60s. They
Yeah.
don't give a fuck
Oh,
about
yeah,
what
for
people
sure.
think of them. So they're like, they'll go on and roast people in the comments. Like, every time they post, they'll be
Oh,
like,
no
they're like just tearing it
Oh,
down.
good. So not the
So,
first person to say
no,
disparaging things
absolutely
about
not.
this.
There's
All right,
like things
perfect.
about like you need to put yourself in a box. Like, if you're ethnic, you need
Yeah.
to just do your ethnic jokes.
What?
And they'd put a face like as an example in their little workshop.
Oh my
like,
God.
worksheets. And like for ethnic, it was
Yeah.
like Dilrook's face was on there. So it was like, ethnic comedian. If you're a mum,
Yeah.
your mum comedian. Like, that
Yeah,
is your box.
go
Like,
on.
stay in your lane.
Yeah, bring a couple of dummies up with you. Yeah, bring
Yeah.
a pram on stage. Yeah, be a props comedian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was pretty bleak from what
Wow.
I've seen.
Yikes.
But it doesn't mean that you can't turn it around, because I've seen people go on to great things.
Absolutely.
It's the practical knowledge.
And I think sometimes that's the way people find their way into it, and then you can divert and actually do something well
Yeah,
with yourself.
yeah,
or you can be scarred
exactly.
from this experience that I'm about to tell, because I don't know if anyone else ever went on. I hope nobody else went. No,
Yep.
I hope.
I'm on the edge of my seat. Tell me.
So 8:30 starts. We get a few. There's quite a lot of the graduating class. But then by 9 o'clock, maybe 2 acts had been on, and we had to open the doors because it was
For an event.
just for a Saturday night. Oh. Yeah, so Saturday night, it was such a small bar, and it was
Yeah.
absolutely packed after that, and people were doing stand-up.
Oh no, that's the worst.
Nobody was there to see stand-up by that point.
Yeah.
And there was a few of the acts. One act just turned their back to the crowds and just mumbled into the mic, and then every now and again turned around and looked, and then back around again. And then another act pretended to answer their phone and pretended it was their mum on the phone.
Yeah.
But they held their phone up to the mic, and I'm like, I can suspend my disbelief that you're talking to your mum, but why are you holding your phone up to the mic like it's... Anyway, and then the MC went on and actually was like, yeah, like, they're usually really good. I think it's just a bit of a different night. And I was just like, oh, all of this is so bad. And literally full bar, and nobody was watching them. And then it all just kind of came to an end.
Oh man,
There wasn't
I feel for
there
the
wasn't a
act.
finish. I know,
Yeah.
but it was...
Just a bit of like better organization. Like, what are you teaching in the course if not being punctual?
yeah, right.
Having like the lineup done like ages in advance, so there's at least like a green room where you're all there. And if you're not, if
Don't
you're-
just do it in a random bar.
don't do it at a random bar on a
Yeah.
Saturday night. And like, if 2 acts in, if I was a room runner,
Yeah.
I'd be like, sorry, we've got to call it. Let's
Yeah.
do it again another time.
That would have been a really smart choice, honestly.
Yeah, and I run
Yeah.
rooms in loud like pizza bar situations where people were
Oh.
not like there to see comedy.
Yeah.
But you kind of, it's a good learning experience because because it was a monthly show,
Yeah.
people eventually conned on that there's going to be comedy here each
Yeah.
like third Thursday or something, and then eventually those like loud tradies just went somewhere else.
Go away, loud tradies. Get out of here. Eat your pizza in the streets where you belong.
But that's super tough. Like I learn a lot from seeing bad comedy as well. So I feel like, even if I was there watching this person turn around with their back to the audience, talking to their fake mum, like I would have gained something, nothing.
Okay, so front to audience and don't pretend to take a phone call. All right, got it. Done.
But even like in clowning, learning to fail is very important.
Yeah.
So, for them, I'd be
failing
happy.
is rough as well, isn't it?
Yeah, to support those
silence.
people. It's just like it's a clowning activity. Look at them go.
Yeah, right. Look, I don't know if it was a clowning activity, but yeah, it's just always stuck with me. And ever since then, I'd be like, I'm going to make sure I double check all of my performing like pieces, where it is, when it is, who's there, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm very like.
So not even the family and friends brought there for the gig were paying any attention. Like they just.
I don't think you could. You were just like shoulder to shoulder with drunk 18-year-old international students.
It's like trying to do comedy to a dance floor.
Oh my god, yeah.
That would be awful.
This bar was so well known for 18-year-old international students coming in and drinking for the first time ever. So there was like a $20 spew fee for every time somebody threw up.
That's actually really cheap. That's
I
too
know,
cheap.
right? It's too cheap.
Yeah.
But they had to clean it up themselves as well.
Oh, the people had to.
Yeah,
no, that doesn't end well. Like they're not in their right mind. Someone's gonna just flip over.
Yeah, it's horrible. But yeah, like it's not a bar for comedy.
No,
not a bar anymore either.
Oh, there you go. Great. You can.
So all's well that ends well.
What was the name of the bar?
Little Peninsula.
Never heard of it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
It's no longer there. So
yeah, dead and
very
done.
strange bar. It was sordid, not sordid past, just an interesting past.
You didn't say anything that would make me not want to hire you though. Again.
Yeah, good.
So
I definitely need work as well.
Totally clear.
Yeah, I'm going to start one of these comedy schools myself.
Maybe, yeah, do it. I think you'd do a better job than
No, I'm very unfunny, as we obviously heard with the Avengers story.
Practice makes perfect. Get out on the open mic scene. You already know how to hold a mic. You're doing it right now.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
And all my jokes will be Avengers and Marvel Snap based.
Find your tribe.
Yeah. Hey, nerds out there, come and see me.
They would. Know your niche. There's a Dungeons and Dragons show that my friend Lauren Bach hosts.
Oh, there's a few Dungeons and Dragons shows going around. Yeah. That's too nerdy for me. I'm a cool nerd.
Cool
I'm not a nerd.
What are the names of the games that I never heard of again?
Marvel Snap.
Yeah, Marvel Snap and...
what was the other one?
I
don't know.
Yeah, anyway,
I don't know now
you're a
either.
cool Marvel Snap nerd.
Oh, Witcher 3. I mean, these are very... Anyway, let's finish this, I think.
Wrap her up.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on, Annie. You've got a few little dates coming up by the sounds of things.
That's
Do you want to share them with us?
Yeah, so if this goes to air on the 24th of Feb,
It
then
does.
Stop listening to this podcast and get on ABC iView or switch your telly on because I'll be co-hosting season 5 China Tonight.
How exciting. And that premieres tonight.
Yeah,
or
premieres
debuts or
tonight. Yeah.
whatever the correct word is.
Unfortunately, Stan has to step away, maybe because I roasted him too much on
Going to think about is laughing.
Yeah, but it's going to be a brand new concept, like in terms of adding more comedy, because I'll be at the desk with the newsreader.
That's so cool. That's...
I don't know how to do a political interview, so we'll see how that goes.
Best of luck to you, honestly. But yeah, that's massive. That's congratulations,
yeah,
genuinely.
thank you.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and I've got a comedy festival coming up as well. And if you have any listeners in Adelaide, I'll be doing my show there at the Rhino Room from the 14th to 18th of March.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, and then about a month later here at the Chinese Museum from the 11th of April for 2 weeks. So it's
awesome.
Going to be lots of fun. Just stand up, just really solid gold. The show's called Gold for that reason. I'm turning 30 and it's about coming of age and just not giving any shits anymore. So here I am revealing all of my secrets and celebrities that I've offended over the years.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you'll have a much longer career so you can offend way more. Do you want to insult any other celebrities just now?
Yeah, maybe can you just bleep out these names?
Absolutely, yes.
And total bitch.
Yeah. All right. And Dilrook, get Annie on that weird, that secret dating app.
Secret dating app. Yeah.
Cool. Well, make sure if you did enjoy this episode, rate and review us 5 stars. They really do help. And if you didn't enjoy it, go and find a podcast you do like. Rate them 5 stars, I reckon. You can find us on the socials pretty much everywhere at Won't Be Forgetting That Pod, and you can find myself at Seb Muirhead, Muirhead, across most of the socials as well. I am going to be in Adelaide for the start of March, so if you're over there, get in touch. I'm more than happy to come and see your shows. I'm not doing a show. I'm going over to record more of these podcasts. Yeah, I'm a professional broadcaster as well, Annie. I'm going to go over to and record a load of these. So I'm going to try and hit up as many people over there as I can. So if you want to come on and you're not a complete weirdo, hit me up. If you've got any show suggestions, hit me up. Otherwise, make sure you go and check out Annie there as well. And yeah, thank you very much, Annie.
Thanks, it's been fun.
Cheers.